Top 10 Most Expensive Homes of Formula One Drivers. When thinking of money sports, the first thing that springs to mind is probably football, either American football or soccer. That reasoning is fair, with the outrageous amounts that change hands when moving a player from one team to another. This allows players to control rather humongous amounts of money, millions and millions of dollars earned from endorsement deals, club salaries, and performance bonuses. But allow me to blow your mind anyway. Did you know that the highest paid Formula One driver in 2016, a man who goes by the name of Sebastian Vettel, makes, in terms of raw salaries alone, as much in a year as the highest paid footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo? While Formula One may not have the fame and may not be as widely discussed as football, there is still a lot of money in there, and it pays its players rather handsomely. That one of the drivers recently purchased a prime real estate in New York for a rumored price of $5 to $10 million. We have painstakingly gathered for you in this video the top 10 most expensive houses of Formula One drivers in the world. Do watch and enjoy. Number 10. Jenson Button, sprawling 5-bedroom pad, £5 million. In 2009, Jenson Button was the world's drivers' champion for Braun GP, and there he outperformed Lewis Hamilton. He has, however, retired from the sport, but not before he got new deals and contracts which now push his net worth to roughly $105 million. Not a thrifty spender, Jenson Button bought a 5-bedroom pad for just £5 million for himself and his girlfriend, following his divorce of his ex-wife, Jessica Mikabata. The new home he set up with his current girlfriend, Brittany Ward, is a 37-year-old pad with Cape Cod-inspired ranch. It is complete with spa, fire pit, surround sound media room, and boasts of not just any view, but treetop view of the Hollywood Hills. Number 9. Sebastian Vettel, humble Swiss farmhouse, $4.5 million. Worthy of honorable mentions is one of the humble abode of Formula One race car driver Sebastian Vettel. For a man whose net worth was once rumored to be $70 million, I think it's okay to call $7 million humble. Like his colleague Kimi Räikkönen, Sebastian Vettel is also one Formula One driver who does not live under the public eye. A 4-time world champion, Sebastian Vettel lives a rather comfortable life in the wonderful plains of Switzerland. This is a relatively common base for most Formula One drivers on the grid. Sebastian Vettel, who is very traditional, purchased a sleepy farmhouse in the Swiss countryside. As one who does not court with the cameras, Sebastian Vettel approaches life in a conventional manner. Even though he has a net worth estimated to be around $100 million, Sebastian Vettel likes a comfortable and simple lifestyle in the Western Europe. He recently expressed his aversion to declaring his personal life and discussing his pursuits outside of racing on social media. Married to his childhood sweetheart, Sebastian Vettel does not believe he could spend more than a week in the glitz and fast-paced lifestyle of sports like Monaco. Number 8. Daniel Ricciardo, $8 million. One of the many homes owned by this Formula One driver, this is perhaps his most intriguing purchase yet. Following his pay increase as he moved from Red Bull to Renault, Daniel Ricciardo decided to spend a little cash, and what better way is there to spend it than on some hot real estate property? Not only is it investment-wise, but it's also a grand way of announcing to the world that you have made it when you have a house in the hills. This killer bachelor pad was sold sometime in November 2018 to one of the best F1 exports who had spent 3 consecutive summers in LA. Even though the pad was constructed in the 60s and revamped, it still has a beautiful mix of concrete, contemporary, low-key wooden design, and the classic structuring. Obviously, it has a view, and a killer one at that, a stunning view of the Pacific Ocean and the Coldwater Canyon. This awesome pad set Daniel Ricciardo back approximately $8 million. That did not hurt his pockets as much as you would think. Number 7. David Coulthard, Columbus Hotel Monaco, $30 million. The Formula One driver is also sadly retired. He is, however, one of the most popular and successful British Formula One drivers. He amassed a total of 13 Grand Prix victories, which has raked in a lot of money over the years. Following his retirement from the racing world, David Coulthard went into the hospitality industry and partnership with Scottish hotelier Ken McCulloch. Number 6. Kimi Räikkonen, Swiss countryside mansion, $32 million. If you're not well versed in the world of Formula One, you may not know the Iceman, the former Ferrari world champion, but rest assured, they do not give that title to just anyone, so it is very well deserved. The Iceman broke the existing records and set new records for the world's fastest lap back in 2018 at Monza. The Iceman has secured, with his belle and fitness model of a wife, the house of his dreams for a mouth-watering sum of $32 million. Even though he hails from Espoo in Finland, from among the other famous Nordic countries, Kimi Räikkönen made Switzerland a base for a few years back and is raising a family here. The number 6 man with the highest salary in the F1, Kimi Räikkönen, together with his wife Mari Vatanen, have chosen the perfect family home with Switzerland's beautiful summertime weather, the rolling green hills, and the replacing ambiance of the surrounding area. A particularly private man, Kimi Räikkönen lives a rather lush life with his beautiful family of 3, his wife and their 2 kids, a boy and a girl. Even though he won a fantastic Grand Prix in the United States in 2018, the change he made in 2019 to Alfa Romeo takes the Iceman several steps back to where he began. Räikkönen reportedly has a net worth estimated to be around $220 million. Number 5. Lewis Hamilton, Manhattan penthouse, $39.1 million. Lewis Hamilton is a big deal in the world of Formula 1. He is the top paid man, and some would argue that he is the guy with the best eye for style. Such a man does not seem like one to be conservative with his houses now, does he? With a net worth of $285 million, Lewis Hamilton no doubt is one of the richest Formula 1 drivers in the world today. He's a partier who has made the headlines, but not just because of his phenomenal track record, but also because of his legendary party lifestyle, which once included jetpacking adventures in a private jet. Even though he has a $41 million home in the same New York City borough, Lewis Hamilton decided to go for another $39.1 million home in the same metropolis. Why, you may ask? Simply because he can, folks. Simply because he can. Even though he emerged from humble beginnings in Stevenage, Lewis Hamilton did not let that deter him. He made himself into the man responsible for 42 of the fastest laps in the history of Formula 1. He has also won 5 world championships and 76 wins, all of which have afforded him all the luxuries of life he desires, which benefits his legendary status. This Manhattan penthouse is quite the hotspot for celebrities. This may be because of the kind of neighbors Lewis Hamilton has. I mean, the guy has Tom Brady as a neighbor. With amazing views of the Hudson and an unbeatable contemporary aesthetics, it seems like Lewis got a good deal on his Manhattan penthouse, right? Number 4. Fernando Alonso's house, luxury villa, northern Spain. There are a few drivers in the world of Formula 1 that are as talented and respected as Fernando Alonso. Of course, it probably doesn't hurt that he is the 3rd richest Formula 1 driver. He is also known by his nickname, the Spanish Samurai, a name he rightfully deserves, as the former Ferrari driver has won not 1 but 2 separate world titles. He made for himself a museum which he dedicated to his F1 journey and career. He is reputably added to his house with the recent purchase of a sterling property in Dubai. This is the latest addition to his house in Montserrat, which is near Lake Geneva in Switzerland. Another one in Longo, which is also in Switzerland, and the luxury villa he purchased when he moved back home in Oviedo, Spain. In case you were wondering how he could possibly afford all these, do not forget that he is the 3rd richest Formula 1 driver. His net worth is roughly $220 million, and as an active driver, he is definitely going to earn more and more. Besides, expectations are high that the former 2-time winning world champion will return to the F1 grid sometime in 2020. Who knows what his earnings will be then? Number 3. Michael Schumacher's house, lakeside villa in Geneva, Switzerland. Everybody has got a nickname, and Michael Schumacher has one too, the Red Baron. Like all his other contemporaries, the Red Baron also has various properties scattered across the world. Even though he is retired, Michael Schumacher is not a Formula 1 driver that will be forgotten so easily. In the 90s and early 2000s, the Red Baron was doing extraordinary things while he was in the game. He has simply rewritten the record books by unmatched excellence, and his growing legacy will likely remain unbeaten. Over the course of his excellent career, the Red Baron raised the bar for other drivers, both contemporary and those born in the game. He drove on not 1 but 2 separate stints. It is rather unfortunate that the Ferrari legend is currently recovering from a serious skiing accident which dealt severely to his health and well-being. Due to a long and successful career though, Michael Schumacher, the only man in the world of Formula 1 racing to win 7 world titles, did well enough financially. His primary place of residence is his lakeside house at Geneva in Switzerland. His estate there depicts Michael Schumacher's desire for privacy and wanting to keep away from the public eye. He also has various properties which include a ranch in Texas, because both Michael and his wife Karina are horse enthusiasts. How can he afford all of this, you ask? Well, Michael Schumacher's net worth is estimated to be around $800 million, which makes him one of the richest Formula 1 drivers and homeowner. Number 2. Eddie Irvine. Eddie Irvine controlled the tracks in the 90s when he raced for Jordan, Ferrari, and Jaguar. The Northern Irish driver made history as one of the only drivers to get Jaguar to the podium and netted 4 victories with Ferrari while he was at it. When it was time to let go of the wheels, Eddie Irving reinvented himself and became an investor and real estate developer. He now has a string of holiday homes and beach houses in Florida, as well as a luxury complex in the Caribbean. Number 1. Alain Prost. Retired as well is the 4-time Formula 1 Drivers' Champion, Alain Prost. The Frenchman is perhaps one of the most successful racing drivers of all time. He has the honor of being one of the richest Formula 1 drivers of all time, as well as being the oldest at the age of 61. He has amassed his wealth by smart stock investments, substantial property holdings, and endorsement deals to supplement his race earnings. He lives in a sprawling mansion, and the value of his home is inestimable. Without a doubt, it is not only in football or basketball that one player can be filthy rich. Turns out Formula 1 drivers also enjoy a sweet deal. So there you have it, guys. If you like this video, click the icon and subscribe. We'll see you in the next video, but until then, stay safe.